All right, everyone. Thank you all so much again for joining our Amtrak Vacations webinar today. Let me first start by saying happy February. Today is February 1st. I'm not quite sure where January went. It flew by. So what does that mean as we approach the beginning of February? It means that this is the time of year that we start hearing from people about planning their spring vacations. So we thought, what a perfect opportunity to invite all of you guys to join us today. We have an awesome crowd, so thank you very much, to talk about our most popular spring vacation rail packages. That way you guys can call us and start planning today. So I just wanted to take a brief moment to introduce myself. My name is Heather Forcier. I'm one of the sales managers here at Amtrak Vacations. I've had the opportunity to do a lot of the trips and go to a lot of the destinations I'm going to show you today. So I'm very grateful to be here today talking to you guys about Amtrak Vacations. As I already mentioned before, if you guys have any questions throughout the webinar, the best way to communicate with me is by using that question box. Some of you guys used it before I began here to do a quick sound check, so thank you. But for those of you that are just logging in, that question box is how you can communicate with me throughout the webinar. If you have a question during the webinar, I'll try to address it at that time. If I miss it, keep in mind I'll be getting to everybody's questions at the end of the webinar. So let me just first start out by mentioning probably the most exciting thing today, and that's that one lucky person is going to be winning a $100 Amtrak Vacations gift card just for joining the presentation today. I'm going to be announcing that person at the very end of the webinar. So again, one person at the end of the webinar, I will be announcing the $100 gift card to. All right, also, please keep in mind, just because you attended this webinar, we have an exclusive offer. This is a special offer. We do not give this to everybody. We only give it to the people attending the webinar today. So I'm going to show you that exclusive offer in just a moment. If you guys have a pen handy, please jot down our phone number. It's 1-800-268-7252. It's at the bottom right-hand corner of my screen, and you'll see our website, amtrakvacations.com. Those will be up on the screen throughout the entire webinar. Our vacation consultants are standing by waiting to talk to you guys about your spring vacation trips. All right, I hope you still have your pens ready to write down the promo code that we are offering just to today's webinar attendees. If you upgrade to a sleeping accommodation on any of our rail packages, and I'm going to go over what some of those sleeping accommodations entail as I go through the webinar, you will save $100 per couple or $50 per person. Again, that's just for making an upgrade on the train from a regular coach seat to a roomette or bedroom sleeping accommodation. You have to book by February 15th, and that promo code is as follows: WEBINARSCV0201. So it's right there on the screen. Jot it down. I'm going to be mentioning it again during the webinar as well. All right, so hopefully you guys all have that written down. And without further ado, I'm going to get going and talk about Amtrak Vacations and some of our amazing destinations that we have to offer. So first, why Amtrak Vacations, and what is Amtrak Vacations? Well, basically, Amtrak Vacations, we take Amtrak, the train, and we package it with hotel in different destinations that you might want to go to, along with sightseeing and tours. So we make amazing, tailor-made vacation packages that are stress-free to you, the traveler. These are really bucket list experience trips. I'm sure a lot of you on this webinar have said, you know, hey, I've always wanted to go across the country by rail. Has anyone ever thought that before? Has anyone kind of said, gosh, how cool would it be to go all the way across the USA on a train? It looks like a few of you have that on their bucket list. I see Tyler has it on his bucket list. I see Carolyn has it on her bucket list. I see Emily has it on theirs. It's such a great opportunity to be doing an Amtrak vacation as a bucket list trip, and it looks like so does Melody. There's room to get up and walk around. You can stretch your legs. It's not like maybe taking a car trip for a spring vacation. It's very, very mobile. You can walk about the train. It's very, very a comfortable ride. It's less hassle, simple enough. We put together these well-groomed packages for you that you can book with us or your local travel agent. And I want you to keep that in mind. When it comes to less hassle, there's no better way to save time and money than by booking with your local travel agent. So I want you to keep that in mind. It offers city-to-city service. I'm going to use my own example for this. I just had the opportunity to take the train to New York City. As I mentioned, I'm actually based in Boston. That's where I'm broadcasting to you from. And yes, we do have snow on the ground here today. But I took an Amtrak vacation to New York City. And it's so cool because the train brings you right into Penn Station. Has anyone been to New York City or been to Penn Station before? If you have, you know that you get off that train and you are right in the downtown of New York. And I see a ton of you have been to Penn Station, which is so awesome to see. Nicole, Marty, you guys know firsthand what it's like to get off that train and be right in the downtown versus when you fly and you might have to sit in traffic. Satisfy your hunger. Has anyone ever eaten on the train? If you have, you know it's absolutely delicious. I see that Ed and Marty have both eaten on the train. The food is freshly prepared, so a very different experience than an airline. You actually sit in a dining car when you eat. So I'll tell you all about that during the webinar. It's flexible. You can pretty much take any of our trips on pretty much every day of the year as long as there is space and availability. Also, keep in mind as I show you these vacation packages, you can customize them, okay? So you can customize any of these trips I show you today. All you have to do is call into us at 1-800-268-7252 or visit your local travel agent. All right, I love showing people this map. The first thing they say is, oh my gosh, I did not know the train went to so many different places around the USA as well as Canada. So as you can see, all those colorful lines, those are all the Amtrak routes. All the little stars, those are destinations that we go to using Amtrak and doing an Amtrak vacation. So you'll see a few of our top-selling routes, like that route that goes from Chicago up north through Montana to Seattle. That's the Empire Builder. The most popular stop by far is Glacier National Park, Montana. That's one of our best-selling destinations, as well as really any of the U.S. national parks. And we're going to be highlighting one of those today. We're going to be talking about the Grand Canyon, which I'm really excited about. Fun fact, the train goes through 46 of the continuing U.S. states, which is pretty remarkable. Not only that, but 31 million people traveled on Amtrak alone last year. So it's a very popular means of transportation. All right, so another fact I want you guys to keep in mind throughout this webinar. I'm going to show you a lot of wonderful packages today, and I'm going to give you examples of starting points that you can do these trips. But I want you to keep in mind, you can do these trips from any starting point, not just the examples I'm showing you today. There are a total of 500 Amtrak stations, and our vacation consultants are standing by waiting to talk to you and find out what the closest one is to your hometown. So in this picture, that is Boston South Station. That is my closest Amtrak station personally. So if I were to do one of these trips, that is where I would take Amtrak from. You can also fly to and from a starting and ending point. So if you wanted to fly to, let's say, maybe Chicago to start your trip to go out west, that would be a fantastic option as well. So I really want you guys to keep that in mind as we go out through the webinar here. I have a quick question from Donna Weller. She says, I love that map you show with the routes. I know that there is one in the brochure, but this one is much prettier. Thank you, Donna. Can you send one out? We do have that map, and we can certainly get one sent to you, Donna. That's no problem at all. You can also find a map that looks very similar to that on AmtrakVacations.com. All right, so what types of products do we offer? And what I mean by that is, what styles of travel do we have? Well, the first is an independent rail journey. That's usually a trip where you're seeing multiple destinations and the train is bringing you to each one along the way. We have family adventures. I'll be highlighting a few of those today. They're really tailor-made for a family trip. We have rail and sails. As you can imagine, that is the train going out to a cruise port like Seattle, for example, and then taking a cruise out to a place like Alaska. And we partner with some fantastic cruise lines for those. We have rail getaways, and I have to say, for spring vacations, those are fantastic. I can't tell you how many people say to us, we want to book a trip on a whim. We want to do a quick weekend getaway for the long weekend. Those are fantastic options for that. And then, of course, we really have a huge specialization in the U.S. national parks. Amtrak is a fantastic way to see the national parks. I'm going to show you some today, but we have all of those national park trips listed on AmtrakVacations.com as well. All right, so let's get into some of our top-selling destinations for spring vacation. A few of you on the webinar already told me that you guys have been to New York City, so you can say firsthand how fantastic this city is. It's the city that never sleeps. Like I said to you guys, I've just gone to New York City on my own Amtrak vacation, and two of the biggest highlights. The first has to be Central Park. Think of how many iconic movies have been filmed right in Central Park. And when you go see it, you really kind of feel that. You feel like you're in this iconic, famous place. Of course, Times Square. There is nothing like it. Picture yourself standing in the middle of Times Square, looking up at all the lights, the billboards, the hustle and bustle. It's really a fantastic city. Like I said, it is the city that never sleeps. This is what it looks like at nighttime. It's really a massive, massive city, and it's absolutely beautiful at night. So our New York City Big Apple Deluxe package. So this is actually one of our 3-night packages. So you can take the train from any given starting point, spend 3 nights in New York City. We'll set up your hotel accommodations for you. As I show you these packages, I want you to keep in mind we have multiple hotels throughout the city. So for example, in New York, you could stay at one of our deluxe properties, like the Marriott Marquis, which looks over Times Square. We also have more moderately priced properties like the Holiday Inn Times Square, where we even do an included breakfast, perfect for families with kids. While in New York, we have a Gray Line New York Classic Tour. That's going to be a hop-on, hop-off style tour. And those are fantastic because it gives you the opportunity to kind of get around the city on this hop-on, hop-off bus, but you have a guide on board telling you what everything is and where everything is. Of course, you have to see a Broadway show when you're in New York City, so we include that in the package. If you're traveling with kids, I'll make a suggestion to you. Go see The Lion King. It's been on Broadway for as long as I can remember, and it's a fantastic show. And we also have dinner at a popular restaurant. I have a quick question from Sharon. She says, I'm seeing the slides on my screen. Is there any video that matches? There isn't any video, so the slides you're seeing are exactly what you're supposed to be seeing. We do have some awesome Amtrak Vacations videos on our website, AmtrakVacations.com. So if you do want to check one of those out, Sharon, that would be an awesome idea. All right, the next city I am going to highlight is Washington, D.C., another gorgeous city. This is our Washington, D.C. family adventure. So we have round-trip rail coming from New York City. So if you're from New York City or the surrounding area or surrounding cities, this is a fantastic option. If you're not from the New York area, remember, give us a call. Our vacation consultants are waiting to speak to you guys and to give you a package tailor-made from your closest Amtrak station. There he is, Mr. Abe Lincoln himself. One thing I love about Washington, D.C. is that a lot of the attractions, the memorials, and the Smithsonian are free of charge. So for example, if you're traveling with your family and you want to go to the Museum of Natural History or the Air and Space Museum, they don't cost any money. You literally walk right in. It doesn't cost anything. So it's a fantastic place to bring your kids or for even grandparents to bring grandchildren. So our family adventure has a hop-on, hop-off tour. And again, that is a fantastic way to see the city, have a realm or a way of transportation, but a guide on board. One of my favorite parts about DC is our Monuments by Moonlight tour. Picture being on a private tour with a private guide and driving around to see those monuments at nighttime. They're all lit up. They look spectacular. You can see right here this picture on the right. It's really a beautiful experience. So again, we've got 3 nights hotel accommodations. We have a wonderful hotel that's right across from Union Station and walking distance to the Capitol. It really doesn't get much better than that. Michelle just wrote, hop on, hop off is the way to go. I could not agree with you more, Michelle. There really is no better way to do it. So like Michelle and many of you who are typing and saying you've done hop on, hop off passes before, you're right, it is the best. I have a great question from David. Is the Moonlight Tour covered in case of rain? It is. That's a wonderful question, David. Thank you. Next we have Chicago. And I'm going to highlight our Chicago Ultimate Getaway. Chicago is often referred to as the Windy City. You guys are going to laugh. The first time I went there, it was February, so right around this time, it was absolutely freezing, and the gusts of wind off Lake Michigan are so strong. So I was out to dinner with my friend. I said, you know, I finally get why they call it the Windy City. And she was laughing because she said that the actual reason they call it the Windy City, I don't know, does anyone know why they actually call it the Windy City? If not, it's because of the hot air bellowing from the politicians. So a lot of people think that it's because of the wind. It's actually kind of an old tale that they used to say, that it's from the politicians and the hot air bellowing. So I think that's kind of a fun fact there. There it is, beautiful, beautiful Navy Pier. Navy Pier kind of juts off the city into the lake. It has culture, it has arts, museums, attractions. It's home to the Centennial Ferris wheel, which you'll see in a lot of the skyline pictures of Chicago. So this is a fantastic attraction to see in Chicago. So our Ultimate Getaway is a 3-night package. Again, keep in mind you can customize these packages. So if you want to do more than 3 nights or less than 3 nights, we can add and subtract however you see fit and however works for your vacation time. We have the Chicago City Pass included here. A lot of our vacations include these city passes. I can speak firsthand from when I went to Chicago. They are fantastic. It's kind of like your one-way ticket through the city. So admission to the sky deck, which is going way to the top of the Willis Tower. If you're afraid of heights, I might not suggest it to you, but it gives you fast track entry to the sky deck, so you get to skip the line. It's admission to the Shedd Aquarium, the Field Museum, and there's so much more included in that. So it's a great thing to have included in the package. And of course, a hop-on, hop-off tour, and then we have a dinner at a restaurant right in downtown Chicago. One of them that we offer is an Italian restaurant, a very old 3-generation Italian restaurant. The food's fantastic. So I have a question from Tony. That's a really good question, and I want to address it right now. That's, are the getaways handicap accessible? Tony, yes. If you call into our vacation consultants, we will make sure that we book your getaway so that it is handicap accessible, requesting a handicap accessible seat on the train, as well as a handicap room at the hotel, so an ADA room. That's no problem at all. If you've already seen your dream vacation and you know the one you want to do for your spring break, call us and remember to use the promo code that we're offering, webinar SCV0201. Again, when you make an upgrade on the train to a sleeper car, as you go to any of these wonderful destinations, we're offering $50 off per person. You only get this if you joined this webinar, so it is a special offer. All right, next I have Niagara Falls. This is a Canadian destination, so you do need your passport to travel to Niagara Falls. So if you want to go on spring break or spring vacation to Niagara Falls, get those passport applications in so that you will have it in time. This is really a magnificent destination, and it's extremely popular in the springtime. So this is something you want to book ASAP. I'm showing it to you with round trip rail from New York City, but keep in mind we can price the package and put it together for you from any given starting point. Has anyone on the webinar ever been to Niagara Falls? Anyone at all? It looks like David's been to Niagara Falls, Carolyn, Ed, Nancy, Sarah, Vicki, Emily, Melody, Sharon, James. The names go on and on. So a lot of you guys are saying you've been to Niagara Falls, you absolutely loved it. So if you're on this webinar and you haven't been, it is really a fantastic destination to see, whether you're traveling with your significant other, children, grandchildren, it doesn't matter. So fun fact about Niagara Falls. I want you to picture yourself going there. Let's say you've never been before. And see that little boat out on the water? You're out on that boat wearing, of course, the famous ponchos that they wear. As you're on that boat getting close to those falls, keep in mind that 3,160 tons of water flow over those falls every second. Absolutely remarkable. In gallons, that is 75, I can't even believe this, 75,750 gallons of water on the American side, and then 681,750 gallons of water every second on the horseshoe side. This picture is the horseshoe side. Okay, so pretty remarkable. Frank says that he's been before and that you should stand at the front of the boat and get extra wet. It's great fun. Thank you for the tip, Frank. So our family adventure includes an attraction pass. That gets you into a lot of things in Niagara Falls. For example, the boat ride or journey behind the falls, which is a walk that you do behind the falls where you can get really up close and personal. We also have admission to an indoor water park. Again, this is a family adventure, so how could any kid not like an indoor water park? We have hotel accommodations. We have some fantastic hotel properties that look right over the falls. So picture waking up in the morning, opening your hotel curtains, and the falls are right there. Okay, we also have admission to the Skyline Tower, which brings you right to the top of this tower, so you have a 360 review of the falls. Steve says that he's done Journey Behind the Falls, and it's fantastic. Thank you, Steve. All right, so let's move on to the next one here. All right, our Orlando family adventure. This one I'm highlighting with round trip rail from Lorton, Virginia. I don't know if you guys know this, but Lorton, Virginia is the starting point for Amtrak's auto train. That is the one train in the United States that you can actually bring your car aboard the train and ride it down to Florida. So you ride the train to Florida, and then they'll take your car off, and you can drive right to Orlando. You don't have to take the auto train to go to Orlando, but it is a great option if you're traveling and you want to have a car down there. So what's so great about Orlando? I don't have to tell any of you guys this. You already know. It is the home of Universal Studios as well as Walt Disney World. So a lot of families and people think to drive to Florida. It's a long drive. You don't get to enjoy it. It's not quite as relaxing. So the train is a fantastic option. Cassandra says, it was awesome. We did this for Christmas a few years ago, and we could bring all the gifts as well as a small artificial Christmas tree on the train. That is so wonderful to hear, Cassandra. That's true. When you bring your car on board, you can bring all of that to your vacation down in Florida. All right, so you'll see our package includes Walt Disney World tickets, of course, admission to go to Universal Studios, and we even choose hotels where the kids can eat for free if you happen to be bringing children with you. I have a question from Melody that I want to address real quick. She says, are there car rentals available at the train stations? It's a really wonderful question. A lot of the stations do have car rentals, and we can book that car rental as part of your package. So when you call us today at the number below, 1-800-268-7252, Again, our agents are waiting for you guys to call. You can ask about a car rental, and we'd be happy to help. All right, the next one I'm highlighting is our California Family Adventure, Southern California to be specific. This is another trip I've had the opportunity of experiencing myself. We have round-trip rail included from San Francisco. If you're coming from the Seattle area, Portland, we can add that on. Maybe your clients or you are going to fly into San Francisco and take the train from there, whatever works best. Keep in mind we can customize it. But I do have to say that train from San Francisco down into Southern California is absolutely unbelievable. When I did it, I had a window seat facing the water, so facing the ocean, and I'm looking out the window and I can see literally people in the Pacific Ocean surfing right next to me. Coming from the East Coast, I thought that was pretty cool to see. So Anaheim, of course, that is the home of Disneyland, so that's probably the biggest highlight of this package. And then, of course, going to San Diego, which is a really cool city, full of culture. Perhaps one of the biggest attractions there is the San Diego Zoo. That is a really famous and popular zoo. And again, we include admission to that in this package here. I have a question from Sean that I want to address. He says, can I fly somewhere then take an Amtrak train back home? That is a wonderful question, and the answer is yes. We have so many clients that will actually take the train to a destination, and then they'll fly home. Personally, if I were to do a trip that was really far, for example, going from the East Coast to the West Coast, that is how I would specifically do it myself, because then you really get to experience that train and then fly home. So it's good for timing constraints as well. All right, I had to save the best for the last. A lot of you already told me you have been to the Grand Canyon before. The Grand Canyon, it's one of those places I think you have to see it to believe it. A lot of people consider it one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. So it's really an absolutely pristine place. And I have to say, there is no better way to get there than taking Amtrak. I'm highlighting our rails to the Grand Canyon trip, so I'll tell you a little bit about that. So here's a beautiful picture of the Grand Canyon. So again, for those of you that haven't been to the Grand Canyon, do your best to visualize this. It is a hole in the ground that is 277 miles long, 10 miles across, and a mile deep. Again, it's almost impossible to comprehend. There's a joke that when you go to the Grand Canyon, it might make you cry. I can actually see why it might make you cry. Michelle just wrote in that she took her 12-year-old Girl Scout group from Chicago to San Fran with Amtrak and then flew home, and it was the best trip they've ever taken. I'm so happy to hear that, Michelle. So someone speaking firsthand about them flying home. So I'm so happy to hear that that worked out for you. All right, so here's again a picture of the Grand Canyon. The way it works with Amtrak is the train actually goes from Los Angeles, or you could come from a different destination like Chicago, and it brings you to a little town called Williams, Arizona. Williams, Arizona is kind of known as the Route 66 town, so that's where the Route 66 Museum is. We have a great little hotel called the Grand Canyon Railway in Williams, and then that is where you meet what is called the Grand Canyon Railway. That is a steamliner train that literally brings you right to the South Rim. So there is just no better way to get there. Once you're at the South Rim, we have a fantastic tour that will bring you all around the canyon to the major vista points, amazing picture opportunities for you to take, and of course we have all of your hotel included as well. All right, so I have to just throw this out there. If you're looking at this trip or any other national park trip and you're thinking, wow, I want to do this for my spring vacation, I want to go this spring or even this summer, you need to call today because the national parks sell out faster than any other destination we sell. So again, we don't want you to call in late and not be able to get your preferred travel date. So the sooner you call on the national parks, the better. All right, so onboard accommodations on Amtrak. I just want to tell you a little bit about that onboard experience. You guys all know the fantastic destinations we have to offer, or at least some of our top sellers. So now what's it like on board? David just wrote in that he was just on the train, or that specific train that I just showed you, in September. So hopefully you had a fantastic time, David. So onboard Amtrak. So again, very different than flying or driving. The first option when you're taking the train is coach accommodations. And sometimes I don't even like saying the word coach, because when you think of coach, you might think of airplanes, you might think of buses. On the train, it is nothing like that. Look at this picture. Look at how much leg room they have. Look at the leg rest that they have in front of them. Look at the little girl. She's standing up, no problem, walking around. It is not meant to be an experience where you're stuck in your seat and afraid to even walk to the bathroom because it might annoy people. It's not like flying at all. So coach is a great option if you're traveling on a budget or just doing a quick day trip to your destination. I highly suggest you make an upgrade to a sleeper car if you are doing an overnight trip to get to your destination from your hometown. And again, if you make these upgrades and you are booking today or within the next 15 days till February 15th, we are offering $50 off per person just because you joined this webinar today. So the sleeper roomette, that means that you have a private room. It's seats that face each other during the day. You can see the little fold-down table, your own private picture window, and at nighttime, it actually converts to bunk-style beds, so you have a place to sleep. Perhaps the biggest selling point for you guys when you're upgrading to these is that you're going to get all your meals included in the dining car. That's right, all your meals included. Has anyone ever eaten in the dining car aboard Amtrak or slept in the roomettes or the bedrooms? Has anyone had that experience before? All right, it looks like Nancy has done that before. It looks like Lee has done that before. It looks like Michelle has done it and she loved the food. James says the food is amazing. James and Walter have done it. Melody has eaten in the dining car. It looks like Kim has been in the overnight trains before, and Steve, and you guys are all saying how much you've loved it. So thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear that. So for those of you that haven't done it, I highly recommend making the upgrade. If you want to get even more upgraded, there's the sleeper bedroom. This is larger than the roomette. It has a private toilet and shower in the room. So for an even longer journey, this might be a great option. The bottom bunk is a little bit larger, so you just have more room to kind of move about. Keep in mind, if you are traveling with somebody that is in a wheelchair, there are handicap accessible rooms on the train. We also have family bedrooms, not very many. Those sell out very quickly. So, you know, you want to call in advance if you're trying to book one of these rooms, but there are a few other options on the train for us to go over with you. And I'm having more and more people typing in saying that they have done the sleeper cars and they absolutely loved it. I have Steve that just typed in. I have Diane saying that she did it and she had a great time. So I'm so happy to hear that. So dining on the train. So again, I'm going to speak from my own experience. I did that California trip I told you guys about, and going from Los Angeles to San Francisco, I ate in the dining car, and I had this amazing freshly prepared piece of salmon with vegetable and rice as I drank a nice glass of wine and looked out the window and watched the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, go by. So the dining experience is pretty spectacular. And again, when you make that upgrade, all of your meals are included in that dining car, whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, depending on when you are on board the train. So you guys, I highlighted a lot of amazing destinations today. I want you to keep in mind we have so many others that we offer that I can't list to you on just one webinar. So go to AmtrakVacations.com, click destinations like you see on the screen, and explore all of the amazing places Amtrak can take you. How do you book? I know I mentioned this already, but you call us. It's 1-800-268-7252. I have to say we have some fantastic vacation consultants here who are knowledgeable, who are helpful, and they're waiting to talk to you guys to help you book your perfect Amtrak vacation. You can also visit our website, AmtrakVacations.com, or you can go ahead and do my personal favorite way to book travel, and that's going to your local travel agent. They do everything for you, literally. They call us for you. They arrange everything for you. They get your documents ready. There's just no better way to book travel than by going to your local travel agent. So a few other discounts to ask about when you call. If you're a AAA member, you get a 10% discount on the train. So if you're adding train to the package that we're offering, we'll give you a discount, 10%. So go to your local AAA travel agent and have them help you book your trip. Seniors, if you're 62 or older, 15% discount, which is wonderful. If you're traveling with kids for a spring vacation, keep in mind that children age 2 to 12 receive a 50% discount on the rail portion of an Amtrak vacation when they're traveling with an adult. And then, of course, there is a discount for military personnel in the amount of 10%. So I have a few quick questions, and they're all coming in right now, which is wonderful. I'm going to answer those in just a minute, so thank you guys for your patience. I want to show you that promo code one more time. If you are booking a trip with us from now till February 15th and you are on this webinar, you are going to get an extra $50 off per person just for making an upgrade to a sleeper car. So I just showed you those sleeper cars. So again, call, ask us about this discount. Our team here is ready to speak to you. They're aware of the discount and they're ready to help you book an Amtrak vacation. It's webinar SCV0201 and our phone number is 1-800-268-7252. Don't forget to download your handout. If for some reason you maybe wrote the code down wrong or you lose the piece of paper that you just wrote it on, download the handout. You can see there in your little webinar box that there's a handout section. You can download those. So that will give you all the information you need to receive your discount, and it'll give you some info about today's webinar that we hosted. All right, before I announce the winner of the $100 Amtrak vacation gift card, I'm going to try and hit some of these questions that I've had. And please feel free, as I do this, to ask any other questions that maybe you missed throughout the webinar that maybe I missed. So let's see here. The first question I have is from Karina. Karina wants to know is, if you are in economy, can you just pay for meals? That's an awesome question. Karina, if you are sitting in a regular coach or economy seat and you still want to eat in the dining car, you can do so. They'll give you the opportunity to make a reservation once the people in the sleeper cars have eaten, and you can make that reservation and then just pay out of pocket for your meal. Ed wants to know, do all routes have an observation car? Ed, I'm so happy you asked that question because I think I forgot to mention to you guys that while you're on the train, you already know this, you can get up and walk around. One of the most popular places to spend time on the train is the observation car. It's this car that has these seats that kind of swivel back and forth that face the windows, and the car is mostly glass windows, so you get really amazing views. Most trains have an observation car. There are few out there that do not, so when you call and book, you want to ask, but most of them do. Here's a great question from Sarah. How many guests do roomettes or sleeper rooms accommodate? So roomettes accommodate 2 people, so 2 adults or an adult and a child. A bedroom car, so the upgraded one, is a little bit larger. It still fits 2 adults, or you could have 1 adult and 2 small children. Now, another option is that family bedroom. Some trains have the family bedroom, some don't. 4 people can fit in a family bedroom, but it must be 2 adults and 2 small children, because 2 of the beds are really meant for kids. Now, if you're traveling with more people than that, you could possibly do 2 roomettes, and we could request that those roomettes be right next to each other. So give us a call. We'll find a way to make it work for however many people you are traveling with. All right. Do you have to travel by a certain date to receive this discount? Basically, if you want to receive this discount, you just have to book your trip from now until February 15th. So as long as you're booking within that window and you're booking a vacation package and making an upgrade to a sleeper car, you'll receive that discount. All right, let's see. So the next question is from Tyler. He says, let's see, Is there an open-ended option for hopping off and on the train, or should we pre-plan the trip as a whole? Tyler, that is a fantastic question. We get that one a lot. People want to know, can they just get on and off the train at different destinations at their own leisure? We really request that or I should say we really suggest that you plan in advance, that you pre-plan your trip, where you're going to get off, when. That's because the train sells out. So basically, if you decide, hey, I'm going to leave this day, there's a good chance that train might already be sold out or not have any space, especially if you want to do a sleeper car. Same for the hotels. You want to book those in advance, and we're more than happy to kind of tailor-make that package based on what you think you want to do. All right. So the next question is, if we're doing I think it's from Frank, if we're doing a 3-night package in New York City, can we offer any add-ons? Can we add things onto our trip? That's an awesome question, and the answer to that is yes. On any given package, you can add on anything that we offer. So let's say you really want to see 2 or 3 Broadway shows in New York City. We can do that for you. Let's say you really just want to do a very specific tour. We can even look for specific tours for you. Let's say you're in the national park and you want to do an extra tour that maybe sees a different part of the canyon. We can do that for you as well. So it doesn't matter the destination. We can customize any of these packages for you. All right. The next question is from Jan. So if you buy a sleeper car, you get your meals included anywhere in the U.S. It used to just be west of the Mississippi years ago. Jan, that is great to know. I didn't know that. As of now, if you are upgrading to a sleeper car on any Amtrak route, all of your meals are included. It doesn't matter if it's east or west. There is one train right now, just to cover my bases here, there is one train right now on the East Coast. It's a short train that is overnight that took away a dining car temporarily. If you happen to be booking that train, we would tell you that, but otherwise, every other train offers meals included. Diane wants to know, can she go from Albuquerque to Flagstaff and Phoenix? Yes, you can. We have a vacation package that sees Albuquerque, Flagstaff, and even you could add Sedona or the Grand Canyon. So that is a fantastic trip. It's a great way to see the West, what I like to call the true West, seeing the true West from the train. The next question is from Sharon. Do you offer vegetarian meals? The answer to that question is yes. If you have dietary restrictions, when you call us to book your Amtrak vacation, let us know and we will let Amtrak know for you. Okay? All right. So the next question is, when we call in and ask for the promo code, does it apply for any trip or only specific itineraries? That is a great question that just came in from Emily. So Emily, that promo applies for any vacation package. So it doesn't matter what vacation package that you are booking, okay? It's just if you're making the upgrade to a sleeper car on the train. Somebody asked also, I think it was Emily again, Emily wants to know, do the sleeper cars on Amtrak sell quickly? How far in advance should I book a trip? So Emily, the sleeper cars are limited, so there's only so many per train. So if you're booking a trip, the sooner you book, the better the price you get. Okay, so again, the sooner you book, the better the price. A little different than airlines that tend to go up and down. Amtrak just tends to get higher and higher in price the closer you get. So that's a great thing to keep in mind. There's no such thing as too early when you're booking your Amtrak vacation. Vincent wants to know, will this webinar be repeated soon? And the answer to that is yes. We have another webinar, this exact webinar, at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're also recording this one that we're doing live right now. And then a question from Frank. If you have somebody that is in a wheelchair or an electric scooter, can we accommodate that? Most definitely, like I mentioned, Amtrak will always accommodate wheelchair. Even if it's electric, they'll accommodate that as well. So just mention that when you call in, and we'd be happy to help you out. All right, so last but not least, what you guys have all been waiting for, I am going to announce the winner of the gift card. I've got one more question from somebody here. from Prasad. She wants to know where we can download the recording. The recording is going to be up on the Amtrak Vacations blog, so amtrakvacations.com. Go to our blog. That is where all of our webinars are. So any past recorded webinar will be there as well. All right. So I'm going to announce the winner. If you have further questions, I urge you guys to call into us today at 1-800-268-7252. And again, you know, I'm going to answer one more question. Just I have to get this one more in. It's from David. He said, I'm a travel agent. So if I had clients coming to book a trip, can I use this promo code? And the answer is most definitely. That promo code is for anybody that's on this webinar today. So that's an awesome question. All right. So I'm having my system here pull a name right now. And if you just give me 1 minute, it looks like the name that it pulled to win the $100 Amtrak Vacations gift card is Lee Porter. So Lee Porter, you just won a $100 Amtrak Vacations gift card. So congratulations, Lee. What we're going to do is we're going to send you an email, Lee, and we're going to give you the information that you need to receive that gift card. You're saying, yay, I'm so happy that you're excited and can't wait to see what you decide to book using your Amtrak Vacations gift card. So again, happy February to all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining, folks. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day. If you guys have further questions, again, give us a call, and we're waiting to speak to you guys. Our vacation consultants, they cannot wait to talk to you and hear about what you thought of the webinar and what vacation you want to book. So again, thank you guys very much and have a fantastic day.